Hey friends, if you are looking to add gorgeous fall color that only gets better year after year, join me today as I'll walk through our gardens and I share with you some of my personal favorites for gorgeous fall color. Oh my goodness. Hello, gorgeous. Yes, my friends, you cannot talk about fall foliage and color and pop and pizzazz to your garden without talking about ginkgo trees. So behind me we have Princeton Century, which is a male cultivar of a ginkgo, which is very important. So when you're shopping for your ginkgos, make sure that they are going to be a male species, because the females, let's just be honest, they reproduce and they will put out seeds and they do not smell very good. So she's not a very fine, refined lady. So we're always going to be looking for male cultivars. The great thing about ginkgos is, of course, that gorgeous, gorgeous color that is absolutely glowing in the fall garden. Once your ginkgos are established, they're going to be very drought tolerant. They have good deer resistance, so we love that. Princeton Century is going to be more upright, more columnar. It's going to be in that 20 to 30 feet tall, 10 to 15 feet wide. Now, you may be looking at mine, and I'll give you a little inside scoop here. Ours will probably never get as tall or have that classic shape to it because it suffered an accident when it was a young tree, a very young tree. Before this bed was ever here, it got run over by the tractor. And I don't know if you can see, but in here, the top was taken out. So it got snapped, the very top got snapped. But however, the tree is doing great. It just is going to have its own unique form to it. Now, for those of you maybe that have a small confined space and you're like, well, even, that size tree, I just don't have room for. I also have a maidenhair. So maidenhair, also a male variety, and it's going to be more like a shrub, more of a bush shape. Now, if you know anything about ginkgos, you also know that they can be full of their gorgeous classic leaves. One day, a windstorm comes through and doof, they are gone. So the maidenhair has lost all but 10 of its leaves. You can see them here on the ground, but this is going to be that shrub. So much more of a manageable size for those tight confined spaces, but they just have gorgeous, beautiful leaves on them. So yes, definitely number one, top of the list for fall color, ginkgos. If ginkgos rank there up at the tippy top, then you have to also include your maples. There are a ton of different maple trees, but oh my goodness, they do not disappoint for your fall color. Here in our backyard, we have, it's either Autumn Flame or it's Autumn Blaze. I can't remember, y'all, but the autumn series of maple trees are absolutely fantastic. Now, this one, she's already starting to lose a lot of her leaves, as you can see from the ground beneath it, but it is an absolutely fantastic one. This year was not, I would say, optimally the best year as far as for the foliage, but it was so interesting. So this side, which is the south facing side of the tree, had really rich reds, where on this side, which is north facing, had more yellows and oranges. I filmed a video, just last week, and in the background, you could see that it was absolutely on fire. A gorgeous one. So why do we love maples? And again, they come in, you can do like the autumn series, because there's a lot of the autumns. If you can find a sugar maple, which sometimes can be hard to find at nurseries, sugar maples will have those almost like that color of a ginkgo, right? That really bright, bright yellow. Obviously, sugar maples, guess what comes from sugar maples? That's right, maple syrup. And so your maples are great because they love the sun. All of these trees that we've talked about so far, the ginkgo and the maple, love full sun conditions. The maple is going to be a fast grower. Your ginkgo is going to be kind of on the slow side. Your maple is going to be hardy in zones 3 to 8. Your ginkgo is in zones 3 to 9, so widely adaptable for a big, huge range of growing conditions and climates and so forth. Love also the autumn maples because not only do they give us gorgeous fall color, but during the summer, the heat of the dog days of summer gives you beautiful shade. And so that is why we chose this tree to go here in our backyard, is because one, we can see it from the front, we can see it from the back, we can see it from multiple angles inside the house, and because this side of the house where we are on is that southwest facing side that gets really, really hot in the summer. So it gives us some shade and protection. They will get to be big. So this is going to be an area you're not going to want to stick this on the corner of your house because they can be like 40 to 50 feet tall, 30 to 40 wide. So this is good for those big open areas to let it have that beautiful natural canopy. So cannot beat your maple trees for fall color. Going along with maples, Japanese maples. Now, Japanese maples, y'all, they come in a range of sizes and colors and sun conditions, right? So really, there is a Japanese maple for your yard. You got a big yard, there's a maple for it. You got a little tiny little patio of a garden, there's a Japanese maple for you on that one as well. I am relatively new to the world of Japanese maples as far as adding them to my garden, but oh my goodness, I am having the best time with it. Our first one was the Fire Glow. So Fire Glow is going to be one of those rare Japanese maples that thrives in the full sun. This is going to be about 10 to 12 feet tall. I think it's like a 4 or 5, something about that wide. Hardy zones at 5 to 9. And it's just going to change colors throughout the season. Most Japanese maples do, and they just give you these gorgeous fall colors, whether it's red like the Fire Glow, hence its name, right? But you can get bright yellows, you can get pinks, you can get kind of chartreuse greens, just tons of different colors on them. So check out those Japanese maples, or rather, at your local garden center. If you don't have a local garden center, or maybe your local garden center doesn't carry a lot of Japanese maples, a great resource that I have used many times is Mr. Maple. So MrMaple.com, as their name suggests, they specialize in maple trees, and you can get them of various sizes. They are great. I have got, oh my gosh, 5 or 6 that I ordered almost a year ago, and they are growing out. I've got some of them in containers and some of them directly in the ground. Japanese maples do tend to be on a little bit of a slower growing side. The Fire Glow that we have here has been in the ground for about 4 years now and is doing really, really well. So make sure you check out those Japanese maples because, oh my goodness, y'all, it is just a whole new world of gorgeous color, textures, and shapes. My friends, as a Southern gardener, you cannot talk about fall color and fall interest without talking about camellias. Oh my heavens. This is one of those plants this time of the year in the fall when they are blooming. I am grabbing any camellia that I can possibly find and I am adding it to my garden. Now you may be sitting here like, Jenny, there's no camellia around you. Like what in the world, woman? Oh my gosh. Okay, down here I have got 2 of the early wonder Japonica camellia. These are from our friends at Southern Living Plant Collection. And y'all, the reason that it's called an early wonder is because it is a Japonica. Mainly we have 2 different types of camellias that we grow. You have sasanquas. Sasanquas bloom in the fall. That is what is blooming profusely throughout my gardens right now. I have got so many different kinds. They're small because I've added them to our gardens in the last probably about 2 years that I've started to add them. But sasanquas will bloom in the fall. They tend to have, be smaller in habit, tend to have a little bit smaller blooms, very profuse, but the blooms tend to be a little bit smaller. They can either do filtered sun, those kind of the shadier areas, but there's also a lot that can do full sun. The October Magic series from Southern Living, they have some of the absolute best camellias and they are rated for full sun. I can attest that they absolutely can do it because, as most of you know, I have tons of sun here. The reason that early wonder is called early wonder is because it blooms in the fall. Japonicas, which this one is, will bloom typically in, for me in North Carolina, a zone 8A, somewhere in that February to March area. But look at this. Is this not absolute pure perfection? It is absolutely stunning, y'all. It has been a good year for the early wonder. I've got 2 of them here. They're going to be rated in zones 7A to 9. They can do full sun to part shade. You can see that they are covered in buds. They are opening up. So this is really rare that a japonica would be blooming in early November, but here we are, and its name is absolute perfection for this camellia. With your if you want to kind of know visually the difference between a sasanqua and a japonica, sasanquas will have smaller leaves, about the size of your thumb. So that's kind of that idea. So if you see a camellia that's not even blooming, you can tell if it's a sasanqua or a japonica by the leaf size. Sasanquas, your fall bloomers, the size of your thumb. Now look at early wonder, right? So this is not the size of my thumb. If you had a giant, if you were a giant and you had a massive thumb, then maybe so. Kind of more so that it fits in the palm of your hand. Those are going to be japonicas. Typically, historically, will bloom in late winter. So again, if you are looking to add camellias to your garden, obviously they are historically have been very much for the southern gardener. The line of the Just Chill camellias from Proven Winners, as its name suggests, are going to be some of the more cold hardy, the varieties of camellias. They can do the full sun. They tend to be more upright in their habit, and I believe they are rated up to a zone 6. If you are shopping online, maybe you don't have a good resource nearby you, I've got you. So Camellia Forest. So Camellia Forest is an online nursery. Obviously, they specialize in camellias. They are located in North Carolina towards the Chapel Hill kind of area. And so you can order online from them. They have a huge selection of camellias to choose from. And they do open houses several times a year. My mama and I made a mistake and went a couple of years ago in my Suburban. And y'all, when I tell you, it was just the 2 of us in the car. It's a good thing we went in, I say it's a good thing we went in Suburban, but there you could not breathe without, hitting a camellia in that car. We jammed that car full. So if you are somewhat local or in the area, check out Camellia Forest on their website. They'll tell you when they have their open houses. Otherwise, you can order online, and just buyer beware, because I warned you. It's a friendly warning. Sorry, not sorry that I turned you onto it. All right, next up, hydrangeas. As a southern gardener, right, North Carolina zone 8A, my panicle hydrangeas will not be the amazing color that the hydrangeas are in those cooler zones, right? So here we are. This is the hedge of phantom hydrangeas at the back of our property. Now this may not be your typical, what you think of like hydrangeas in fall foliage or color, but I am going to take any kind of color I can get in the fall. So as you can see, the leaves on phantom hydrangea, they are turning a bright yellow. Here, I think it's in the next couple of days, weeks, we're going to have our first hard freeze. So then those leaves are going to fall off. Now, I have a couple of blooms that have that pink color to them. If you were in the same boat that I am and you're like, what is wrong with me? What am I doing wrong that my panicle hydrangeas do not turn that beautiful pink fire engine red that you will see, say, like in Michigan? You're not doing anything wrong. It is our heat and our humidity that do not allow the blooms to turn. What makes the blooms turn, those pinks and the reds, is when the blooms are still fresh, right? So they're relatively new, and the nighttime temperatures begin to drop. So your nighttime temperatures are cool, it gets warm during the day, the blooms are fresh, that is when they take on those gorgeous pink and red hues. As you know, as a southerner, our panicles bloom so much earlier, say, than those in Michigan. And then they go through July and August, which is extremely hot, and then that's when they will turn brown. A couple of years ago, Jerry and I visited Spring Meadow Nursery in the fall, and we got to see the panicles in all of their glory. And oh my heavens. So if you are in those cooler zones and you've got a sun garden, plant the panicle hydrangeas. Your panicles love the sun. There are literally hundreds of hydrangeas that you can choose from. If you want something nice and big and tall, of course, you've got phantoms, you've got limelights, you have got firelights, you have got quick fires. These are the ones that I know. There's plenty more, y'all. If you need something more petite, my personal favorite is Little Lime Punch. You have got Quick Fire Fab. You have got Firelight Tidbit. There are many, many choices for you to choose from. So you, of course, can order online from us, Gardening with Creekside. You can go to visit your local garden center. A lot of your garden centers will have those panicle blooming hydrangeas. If you have more of a shaded area, a shaded garden, and you're thinking, well, I can't grow panicles, then you're going to want to grab some oak leaf hydrangeas. They are absolutely known for their beautiful fall foliage. I have a Ruby Slippers up at the chicken coop in a container, and she is showing off in all of her beautiful colors. So they will take on these really deep, beautiful red colors in their leaves, and of course their leaves are shaped as an oak leaf, hence how it gets its name. But they turn those really deep reds and maroons, and they will hold on to their leaves for quite a long time. So don't even think just panicles with the blooms. Think about the foliage itself. We also have some Tough Stuff, the Tough Stuff series, which is a serrata, a mountain hydrangea. The foliage itself will turn a beautiful, really deep, almost like a purple color, like a purple black. Beautiful. So don't just think flowers, also think foliage with your fall hydrangeas. Next up on the list, we have got a great native shrub, Fothergilla. That is right. So Fothergilla is that native shrub. You see it right here. I got two of them for you. That specific variety cultivar is Mount Airy. So we love Fothergillas because they are very tough. They are very adaptable. They give us beautiful, fragrant white flowers in the spring, and then in the fall, you have got reds and yellows and oranges, like all on the same shrub, right? So we've got some really deep kind of maroon colors. We have got some that are more like fire, like that flame orange color. And then back here in the back, we have got some yellow. So tons and tons of different colors on this native shrub. It is hardy in zones 3 to 8. It will get to be in that, what did we say, 3 to 5, I want to say, tall and wide. And there are, of course, lots of different cultivars out there. Mount Airy is one that is very popular. Proven Winners came out with a couple of Fothergillas, and so if you have a more compact, confined space that you need to have a shrub in, that you're looking for that color and interest, check out Legend of the Small. Sorry, not Legend of the Fall, Legend of the Small. It is going to be a really nice, petite, tight, compact Fothergilla. I want to say around in that 2-foot range. So Fothergillas, great. Easy peasy, but give you gorgeous fall foliage. And then next up on the list is Edgeworthia. Now, Edgeworthia is also known as a paper bush. It originates from China, and yes, they actually could make paper from the bark of the tree, or the shrub rather. It is the shrub, it's not a tree. So from they would make paper with it. So Edgeworthia doesn't really, this particular is just Edgeworthia chrysantha. So it is going to be hardy in zones 7 to 10. So definitely a more southern shrub, but typically, I would say for the vast majority of the year, it's going to be a nice size plant, right? So kind of in that 6 to 8 foot tall and wide. During the summer months, it's going to be really unnoticeable. It's going to have these nice, big, huge, massive green leaves on them. Okay, so right, you're like, okay, well, it's a green bush. It's a green shrub. Well, my Edgeworthia is just beginning to turn the yellow color. So underneath there, we have a little bit of yellow peeking through. All of the leaves are going to turn that kind of big bird, bright banana yellow. Now, this is a little extra tidbit because this is not going to happen in the fall. This is going to happen in the spring, in the dead of the winter. Y'all, this thing will, as it is already, covered in buds. So these are the flower buds. They will open up into these orange tubular blooms that are downward facing, and they smell unbelievable. It is the most intoxicating fragrance ever. It is to die for. You could be 30 feet away and you're like, what is that smell? All good things. It is your Edgeworthia. So if you've got some room, get an Edgeworthia. You will not be disappointed. They do, you can actually really like whack it. I really pruned mine really heavily, not this one, in the backyard in early spring. After it bloomed, I went ahead and really sheared it back, and it has bounced back beautifully. They like more damp conditions. They like the sun, that filtered sun, but oh my gosh, fall foliage and winter fragrance. You cannot beat Edgeworthia. To wrap up my list, tour of the gardens, by no means are these the only fall foliage plants. In fact, I would love it if you would put in the comments below what plants do you have in your garden or that you know of that give fantastic fall interest. So that way, as a community, as a Creekside family, we can share those with each other. So put them in the comments. But today, last on the list is going to be Viburnum. This is popcorn viburnum. Y'all, I have 3 of them here along the edge of the creek bank. Popcorn is a Viburnum plicatum. So that is the type that it is. And oh my goodness, y'all, this is another one of those shrubs that gives you interest throughout the season. Now, mine are just starting to take on their fall color. Throughout the growing season, they're going to be a lovely green, right? So you have this nice green leaf, but as the cooler temperatures come on, they take on those purple red hues to them. So you can see throughout here, they are taking it on. Some of them, the leaves are still green. So this is not in her full glory right now. There are 3 of them here. So we've got 1, 2, oh, excuse me, there's 4 of them here. And so why do we love the popcorn viburnum? Well, in this video, of course, we love it for their fall foliage. They will absolutely be stunning when they are in all of their glory in the fall, right? You also would want a popcorn viburnum because in the spring, it does beautiful white flowers. I don't know, but here in the South, you hear people call them snowball bushes. So this would be a snowball bush. Sometimes people would get the viburnum and a hydrangea mixed up because the blooms look very, very similar to a macrophylla hydrangea bloom. They're going to be color specific. They are white, but it is a viburnum. So popcorn is going to be one of the earliest blooming viburnums out there. It is a fast grower, 6 to 8 feet tall and wide, which I can absolutely attest to. They make great screenings, which I can attest to because that is what we have it here for. They are drought tolerant once established. They are deer resistant. They are just super, super easy plants to have in your garden that give you tons of interest. They are rated in, I think it was zones 7 to 9. So they're going to be in those warmer zones. And for me, it will be completely deciduous. In the warmer zones, it says that it can be a semi-evergreen. But for me, even in an 8A, and north is right here, so that it does get blasted with those cold northerly winds, it is deciduous. But it pops out super quick and blooms. So we have got a lovely selection of gorgeous fall foliage texture interest in the garden. Again, please comment below so that way we can share what gives you that beautiful fall interest in your garden, because I am in North Carolina, a zone 8A. I know that I am missing plants because the possibilities are absolutely endless, especially for those of you maybe that are in a completely different growing zone than I am. So if you're in a colder zone, say maybe you're a zone 5 or a 4 or a 3, right? What is it that you love to have in your garden that gives you some fun interest before the cold of the winter hits? So leave that in the comments below. If you have found this video helpful and informative, we would love it if you would subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. That way you don't miss those 5 videos that we do each and every week. So you can get more great content like this, because we all want to have gorgeous gardens that we can enjoy all seasons of the year. As always, we appreciate you. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.